Hello, hello. Hi, Green Yoshi. Hi. Hope you're doing well. Woohoo. Oh, thank you so much for the sub. Yay. 3 months. Bow, 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 bow. I love it. I love seeing that dancey emoji. Yay. Howdy. Hope you're doing well. Happy Wednesday. It feels weird. This week is weird, but that's okay. Yay, hope you're doing well. I am just getting all sorted. Uh, Let me tell you how off I am, though. A really dumb thing happened right before stream. So I have been trying, I was getting ready for stream at, I was like, oh, I'll go 5 minutes before, let me get all sorted and everything. And I had such a problem with my mouse and my keyboard, and I was just like, huh, that's weird. That shouldn't be the case. So I changed the battery in the mouse, and I was like, oh, it's not really recognizing it. I changed the battery in the keyboard. I was like, that's not it. And so if only it was Thursday, Green Yoshi. Well, okay. So the reason, okay, my computer, it's got some custom things. It's got some lights and stuff on the inside that you can see. It's real. This is a very, I made I made this a very fancy pants computer, just because it was time. I hadn't splurged on anything like that for me before. So, anyways, it's really cool, and the light was on, but I guess apparently, I changed out mice, and I was like, what is happening? And I was like, wait a minute, is my computer not on? I think something happened, because I put it on sleep earlier. I didn't full shut down, so some of the lights were on, but it was being treated as if it was, because basically I pressed the power button. Oh, hi, surrounded by purpose. Thanks for popping in. So, anyways, apparently my computer was off. That's why the mouse and the keyboard wasn't reading. But it was false. It was it looked like it was on. I was like, oh my gosh, is it Friday yet? I need help. But tomorrow is my Friday. I will be traveling to go visit family. So I'm taking half day tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, it's playing dead. It's just like, I don't wanna. I don't wanna. Let's start over. Back to the weekend, please. Well, yeah. Mm-mm. All right. Let me get all sorted here. But yeah, no, I'm excited to travel tomorrow. We'll see. I'm a little nervous because, um, myself and my teammate, we cover U.S. hours, and so with my boss out, we've all been in agreement that it's yeah, no, everybody should take the things that they want to take off, and we'll figure it out, right? And so yeah, this week it was just hey, just to remind everybody, I'm out Friday, but what would you think if I also took half day on Thursday? And the other person was just I'm actually out Thursday because it's my birthday, and I was like, okay, okay. I was like, can we just let everybody just be okay for I'll do half day, but you know, for the 4 hours, everybody can just either figure it out or just wait till the next day. Are we cool with leaving that? And they were like, yeah. So it's nice. It's nice to be in alignment with my teammates. And I think my boss would be okay with that too. That it's just kind of hey, if it's the case, we're not doing surgery, so if it's the case that it's nobody is here, it's you just gonna have to wait a day. Yeah. Okay, surrounded by purpose. Thank you so much for popping in. Have a good one. So yeah, so it was very silly. But I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad I have a supportive team, because I know that some jobs and bosses make it everyone else's problem when there's not coverage. And I get it. There's some jobs that it's you need a person. I got that. But my job's not like that. My job's not oh no, you know, something's gonna the factory will shut down if one person doesn't cover this. It's not like that. So, all right. Green Yoshi, here's where we are at. We are not quick saving. We don't need to do that. What happened last time? We crossed, oh, not crossed over. We didn't die. We basically came back to our body. We talked to our boyfriend. He did not kiss us. We did not get a kiss in this playthrough yet, but he was just like, "I love you," and it's like, "Oh, I love you too." I care about you. But like, basically, he was just like, "I'll be sad without you, but I'll cross over after you go back." And it's like, "Okay, do you promise?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, don't worry about it." And so we have returned, and we are hoping that he crossed over. I guess so. That's where we're at. You make sure not to make yourself too important at work so you don't have to worry about taking time off. That's good. That's not a bad plan at all. Like important enough that people sweat and like are impacted enough that it's like, oh, they really appreciate you when you come back, but not so much that it's just like everything falls apart. Never let them take off. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm glad. There's I think that there's some people at my company are just kind of like there are things that they deem emergencies, but like very often it's like, I'm sorry, your procrastination is not my emergency, but thank you. And sometimes it's not about procrastination, but it's like some of them is just like I understand your level of urgency, but that doesn't make it urgent. But all right, drinking my water. I had a really nice meal today though. I had a brisket fried rice and it was pretty dang good. But I was pretty frustrated though earlier. I've mentioned 100% venison. Ground venison is what is needed for mochi. I had been getting it, maybe like 3 packs at a time. Like I basically buy it out every time I go to the store. They just don't have a lot. Um, but this week was the first time that I struck out. Like there were zero at the store. So I went to another store and they also had zero. I went to a different store that had a different brand, allegedly. They also had zero. So I'm a little nervous, but I think I have found on my travels, I'll be driving 3.5 hours tomorrow, and my destination city, apparently, they also have a store location there, and I will try, or I have made my grocery order, so in theory, it's there. So as long as nobody just like buys it today, I should be fine. Yeah, I know. It's like, what the heck? I didn't think, yeah. I was so annoyed though, because like a lot of like online inventory sites like are not very good about, like I think Instacart is actually kind of like trash. I don't, I have very limited experience with Instacart, but the two things that I have tried to do with them haven't gone well. Like, um, there was like I was able to order quote unquote online via Instacart for the second source of venison, and I was like, awesome, I'll get 3 packs. They came and they gave me three wrong things. Yeah, no, it was bad news. It was just like ground elk is not ground venison, and I made a note that it was like, do not sub, like give me a refund, do not sub, and it was yeah, it was pretty annoying. Yeah. So I don't like it. I don't like it. So now I have to go like to Instacart and be like, I need my money back because I don't. Yeah. Yeah. It's just, and it bugs me because it's like, look, there's pictures and stuff. Like, does it match? Yes or no? Like, I'm not, you know. It's like, and even though like elk is like maybe under the umbrella of venison, maybe it's like, that's not what I asked for, you know? Asian guy, hello. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. I was just lamenting about, my Instacart woes. I ordered three somethings and they gave me not those three somethings. So, kind of a bummer. I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm not eating this for me. So, yay. Let's see. Last we left off, we did not get a kiss from our boyfriend. We we crossed back over, not crossed over. We didn't die, but it's like we went back to our body. It was like, something had been fulfilled and it was like, "Oh, I'm going back to the world of the living. Bye." And our boyfriend was just kind of like, I'll miss you. Don't worry, I'll cross over after you leave. And so that's where we're at now. We hope that he crossed over, I guess. Although, suspiciously, one thing that happened last time is he held our hand, and normally when ghosts interact with the living, like, they start getting crazy. But he was normal, so something tells me he might be alive. I hope so. I hope he's just like in stasis, but yeah. Lolli. In the darkness, I heard a voice call out. It was so painfully sweet. It was so full of love. I reached out for it.
起きて。ほら、起きてってば。
No matter how much I longed for it, I knew it was voice I'd never be able to hear again.
みんなが君を待ってるよ。
As if the voice had pushed me back into reality, I opened my eyes. I stared up at the pure white ceiling and heard the drip-drop of the IV. I felt wary as I brought a heavy hand to my face. Sena? Tears began falling down my cheeks. Black Dragonkin, hello, welcome! Happy Wednesday, hope you're doing well. We are playing 9-Rip. It is a dating sim Otome game. So we're doing a playthrough with a pop idol. These are our ghost boyfriends. So we have just crossed back over to the land of the living. That's our mom. Just then, a soft mumble escaped my mother's lips and made its way into my ear. Oh. I didn't realize my mom was by my side, and I looked at her in a daze. Mom? I'm sorry. Thank you. I have so many things I want to say to you. But as I watched tears fill my mother's eyes, I found the first words I should say. I'm home. Things got crazy after that. The hospital seemed to think the odds I'd regain consciousness were very low. I watched as the panicked doctors did range of consciousness checks, then brain scans, everything. Then, as evening came, Sayaka came to visit.
もう大丈夫なの?
Yeah, of course. We won't know for sure until the test results come back, but my head is clear. It still hurts a lot, but aside from all that, I think I'm fine.
よかった.
As I wrapped both my hands around hers, Sayaka hung her head low.
謝って済む問題じゃないけど、改めてごめんね。あなたが事故に遭ったのも、元はといえば私が。
You don't need to keep doing that. You don't have to apologize anymore. I've heard them all, Sayaka. That's what I told you on the phone, remember? Sayaka's eyes widened. Why are you surprised? You caught the call from Mary Mary, didn't you? So that was something that happened. Our friend was like in a panic because she wished that we could be together forever kind of thing. Or like, she didn't want us to be apart. And then she thinks that inadvertently caused our accident. Has been really apologetic, trying to find ways to bring us back to life. But we were able to make contact.
あれ、メリーさんだったの？死者からのメッセージって噂だから違うと思ってたんだけど。
Well, rumors don't get everything right.
詳しく聞かせて。
Maybe later, after you've calmed down. I just got back. I'm still in my hospital gown. After calming her down and telling her again that I would tell her everything, I laid down in bed. I had so much to talk about with Sayaka, my mom, and the others about. But for now, at least, I was just enjoying feeling alive.
どうか僕の分まで人生を謳歌して。
My kiss! I will feel so cheated. I did not get my kiss from my boyfriendo. What the heck? What the heck? Seeing as Sena sent me off like that, I intended to live a life I could be proud of. Trying my best to ignore the hole in my heart left by his absence, I drifted to sleep. I felt when my soul returned to my body. I noticed my injuries were not as serious as I thought they would be after being hit by a car. I was covered in bruises, but my bones were all intact. I spent some time in the hospital to recover my strength and go through rehabilitation. After 2 weeks, I was able to return home. Then, after resting at home, I finally returned back to school.
いい？くれぐれも車には気をつけてね。信号の点滅中は渡らないこと、横断歩道は手を上げて渡ること、それから。
I gave a bitter smile as I put on my shoes. Mom looked as anxious as ever. Sayaka and I are going to walk together the whole way. Don't worry.
そう。それならいいけれど。でも、やっぱり車で送る？
This whole thing's made her even more overprotective than before. Well, I guess it's partly my fault for making her worry so much. I'm fine. Sayaka's waiting for me, so I'm going to go. See you later. Morning, Sayaka.
おはよう。今日からいよいよ学校復帰だね。
A little nervous, I guess.
いつも通りで大丈夫だと思うよ。それよりも学校に着く前にこれを渡したくて。
After rifling through her bag, she quickly pulled out a clear file and handed it to me. As I examined it, I found that it was... This is... my career survey printout.
提出前に入院しちゃったでしょ。先生が改めて提出してって。私もね。
What did you mean, mine too?
実は提出した進路の希望を一旦取り消してもらったんだ。
Sayaka?
もう一度考え直したいの。今度は私自身が進みたいと思える道を。
Sayaka smiled proudly at me, her face radiating a maturity I'd never seen before.
なんて急にこんなことを言い出しても説得力ないかもだけど。
No, I think it's great. Besides, I don't think it's sudden. When I was in the hospital, I saw how much pain you were in.
生き量になって私の行動を見てたって話だったよね。
While I was resting at home, Sayaka came to my house to help me with my bandages. There, I told her everything that happened. At first, she listened intently to every word I had to say, but when I brought up Sena, she seemed to grow distant. Sayaka, I know you're worried about it, but I actually am glad all that happened to me. Because now, I feel like I'm truly able to understand you.
そう言ってくれて言葉もないよ。
Sayaka's eyes were damp, but she took in a deep breath and seemed to calm down.
聞いてもいいのかわからないけど、セナさんのことはもう。
Before, I would have just said it's fine and told her not to worry about it. But that whole experience taught me not to keep my worries to myself. I'm still having trouble sorting things out. I think I need some more time.
そっか。
After saying that, Sayaka patted me lightly on the back.
何かあったら力になるからね。いつでも話を聞くから。
felt sadness welling up in my eyes, but I suppressed it and forced a smile. First things first, I'd like to get your opinion on my career path.
それすっごく嬉しいよ。張り切って相談に乗っちゃうから。
Thanks! Talking like this with Sayaka made me realize my life had gone back to normal. After talking with Sayaka about it, I'll have to talk to Mom. Determined not to let anything else interfere, I set my eyes squarely on the future. It was then that I found that small spark Sena had talked about. A few days had passed since I started to focus on my future career path. The small spark I found... Sorry. And to clear my throat. The small spark I found came to me in a dream. One day after school, at Sayaka's suggestion, I decided to head to that cafe.
ああ、石木さん。来てくれるのを待ってたよ。最近顔を見ないなって気になっていたんだ。
The owner spoke gently to me with a smile on his face. In his hands, he held a sheet of paper, which immediately attracted Sayaka's eye.
アルバイト募集？それ見せてくれませんか？
ああ、これね。どうぞ。ホールスタッフ募集のポスターだよ。
The owner put the poster down on the table we were sitting at. Sayaka stared at it with wide eyes.
よかった。高校生でも大丈夫みたい。
Hmm? A part-time job? Here?
もう私じゃなくてあなただよ。
Huh?
この喫茶店はセナさんと小さなきっかけを見つけた場所でしょ。それなら大きな夢も見つかるかも。なんて飛躍しすぎかな。
Her idea was so wonderful, I struggled to find a reply.
よくわからないけど、石木さん、ここでアルバイトしてくれるの？
Well, I'm not sure. A job? Here? I'll have to talk to my mom about it. This was a place I really cherished, and I'd be surrounded by sweets I loved. It was the first time I felt my heart leap with excitement since coming back. I'd always had difficulty feeling confident about myself, but that day was different. When I had an idea of what I wanted to do, talking to my mom about it didn't seem so intimidating after all. I still didn't know if she'd let me get a part-time job, but even if she just told me she'd think it over, I'd be happy. I felt that I was moving forward. I was making progress. Surrounded by those good feelings, I realized it had been a month since I woke up. I had eaten dinner, taken a shower, and as I was drying my wet hair with a towel, I plopped myself down on the bed. Looking up at the ceiling, I couldn't help but think about the two of them. Sena, Koyo, I wonder if they've crossed over. Even now, there were things that would remind me of the time I spent with them. Sena, most of all. Lost in these thoughts, I heard my phone ring. A call? Now? Who could it be? I got up and picked up my phone off the desk. Hello?
やっと出てくれた。もう何度も電話したのに。
Sorry. I was in the bath. So what is it?
今から送るサイト見て。
Site? I put her on speakerphone and tapped on the URL Sayaka sent me in our messaging app. This is a paranormal site?
何個か雑談スレがあると思うんだけど、上から9番目のを見てみて。
Number 9. Ooh, because it's R.I.P. 9. I did as I was told and scrolled down from the top. When I saw the title of the 9th link, my heart stopped. Meet Sena at Beachfront Park? Huh? I guess that rumor's still going around. It was such a big urban legend around here, it made sense it wouldn't die down.
残ってるというより、まだ噂され続けてるの。
No, there's no way. I told you, didn't I? Sena said he was crossing over.
それを聞いていたからこそ電話したんだよ。あなたは知っておいた方がいいと思って。
Sayaka's words only filled me with worry. What do you mean?
確実な情報ではないと思うけど。
Sayaka prefaced her answer, paused, and then continued.
セナさんが今どうなっているか知りたいならそのスレを見てみて。
Sayaka, don't hang up, okay? Please?
絶対に切らないよ。ゆっくりでいいから。
I took a deep breath and with a shaking finger tapped the link to the thread. The picture shown on the screen displayed what looked like a ghostly image on a fake phone camera. That's Sena. I had no idea if the image was real or not, but it was most definitely Sena. The rest of the comments were debating if it was real. I continued to scroll through the comments, but my thoughts were elsewhere. Maybe he really didn't cross over.
セナさんの心残りってどんなものなんでしょうか。
Not kissing me! Not kissing me this playthrough!
悪いものではないと思うんですけど、他の幽霊よりも気配が強いというか、あなたたちがここへ来る少し前から気配を察知できたほどで。
Yeah, exactly, right, Green Yoshi? I began to think that Hibiki's thoughts were correct after all. So him saying he could cross over was a lie? Sayaka? There were comments on here saying the same thing, but couldn't this be fake?
それは否定できない。心霊写真はトリックも多いから。
I see. In that case, I bet it's just a hoax. I mean, he told me. It's just rumors, no doubt.
あ、そうだった。私ったら噂を鵜呑みにして電話しちゃって本当にごめんね。
No, don't worry about it. I was pretty surprised too. Sayaka and I talked for a little bit after that, and then we hung up. Mom's working a night shift tonight. I glanced up at the twinkling stars and dashed out of my room. As I ran through the night, the calm part of my brain began asking questions. It's a rumor. There's no way it's true. And even if it were true, what could I do about it now? I can't see him. I can't talk to him. And yet, when I thought he might still be there, I couldn't stand still. Unable to sort out my emotions, I stopped when I reached the park. Before I could even catch my breath, I yelled, "Sena? Are you there?" My voice echoed through the darkness, and was absorbed by the starry night sky. "Sena?" I knew there would be no response. Yet I waited patiently for his reply. "Annyeong! Hi, Eldrazel! Hope you're doing well. Happy Wednesday here. Maybe not for you. Don't know how far. I think you're far enough ahead of me that it's the next day." Annyeong! How's it going? We're just playing 9-rip. We are, last we left off, we came back to the world of the living. We had to say bye to our ghost boyfriendo, quote-unquote ghost, question mark, boyfriendo. But we're following up on a rumor that he's still around. Yeah. Trying. We got a confession last time, but we did not get a kiss, so I don't, yeah. So it's been a little bittersweet. So I'm hoping we get our kiss soon. I don't know if it's gonna be this episode, but I think if we finish this playthrough and we get no kiss, this game, they done goofed. That's what I think. I looked around and, as expected, saw no one. I believe he's crossed over. I believe it. He said he would. What am I doing? I took a deep breath of the cold night air in and finally caught my breath. I'm not going to let some silly anonymous message board fool me. Sena wouldn't lie to me. I believe him. He's crossed over. We're so intent on having him cross over, but he might be alive. That's what I'm hoping for. Sena, you've crossed over, right? I'm choosing to believe you. Then, as my mumbled words were carried by the wind, I thought I saw something in the darkness shimmer, and my eyes darted toward the object. Sena? I thought I'd felt the slightest presence of something there, but only darkness surrounded me. Staring into the shadows, I began to feel uneasy. I believe. I have to believe. I kept saying those words to myself over and over, but my anxiety would not leave me. What would I do if Senda ended up as a wraith? I guess I'd have to kill him. No, I'm just kidding. We're not we're not ghost hunters. We're not wraith hunters. But it would be a bummer. The next day, I couldn't sleep at all last night. Had Sena crossed over? Had he become a wraith? Once I started thinking about those things, I just couldn't stop. With racing thoughts in my mind, I couldn't sleep. Groggily, I got up and began getting ready for school. When the lunch break started, I walked to the cafeteria with Sayaka.
それでね、心霊研究をしているサークルが。ねえ、聞いてる？
Yeah, what happened? Sayaka stared blankly at me. I couldn't remember what she was talking about, and her annoyed stare left me uncomfortable. Sayaka?
セナさんのこと考えているの？
How did you know?
だって昨日の今日だからさ。私が余計な噂を教えちゃったばかりに。
I know. It's just a rumor. It has to be. I knew if I made too much of it, it would only hurt Sayaka's feelings too. With that in mind, I tried to put on a smile to make things right.
嘘ついてるってわかるんだから。本当は割り切れてないんでしょ？
Of course, there was no fooling my best friend. She saw right through me.
一つだけセナさんの行方を知る方法があるんだけど。
How? How? I quickly jumped forward, leaving Sayaka to look surprised and then smile. And then I shook her really hard. I'd be like, Tell me! Tell me!
あんまり期待されると困るかも。私自身一度も成功したことないからさ。
As she spoke, Sayaka began rummaging through her bag below the table. What she took out from her bag was something I'd seen before. Wait, Sayaka, are you talking about using the spirit board? Maybe my reaction was a little too harsh, but Sayaka merely blinked back, surprised.
そうだけど、もしかして私の知らないところでこっくりさんをやったことがあるの？
Oh no, we're gonna have to tell her. We're probably not gonna tell her, but the spirit board's really annoyed at Sayaka. He's just like, oh, she keeps asking me a bunch of questions I can't answer. It's yes or no. Very simple things. He's asking weird stuff. So he's like really annoyed with her. I had told Sayaka most of the things that happened to me when I was a ghost, but I left out the bit about the spirit board. Actually, once, when I was a ghost. To say that she was captivated by my words would be an understatement. This time she turns around, she's shaking me, like, How? How? For the time being, I asked Sayaka if I could borrow her spirit board tools to try it out. Sayaka had cram school that day and looked very disappointed she wouldn't be able to join me. Then, after school, she's like, I'm going to skip. I'm going to skip. I don't need cram school that bad. Don't worry. The evening sun stained the classroom. I took a seat at my desk and unfolded the spirit board equipment. Here we go. Oh, spirit of the board, please come forth. I chanted slowly as though I was making a wish or a prayer. Then, the coin I was holding began to shake. Then it slowly slid over to a single word on the tip of the paper. Yes. Before I could even ask my question, the coin began to move around the board. Y-O-U-A-G-A-I-N. You sassy. You sassy spirit. You again. The heck? The cheeky purple guy. Come on. Did you miss me? Yes. I'm gonna push it over to yes. I can't see him, but based on that response, it has to be the same spirit as before. I breathed a sigh of relief then. O-U-T-W-I-T-H-I-T. Out with it. It was easy to picture his annoyed face staring down at me, so I quickly asked my question. The rumors about the ghost in Beachfront Park. The boy gazing at the stars. I want to know more about him. I know, rude. This guy. How sassy he's gonna be. He's gonna spell out eye roll. E-Y-E-R-O-L-L. Rude. We make an extended spirit board that has like emojis now too. Frowny face. Tears. Eggplant. Has he not crossed over yet? Does he still roam this earth? Which question? What if it's yes and no? What if it's no and yes? The coin began moving slowly before stopping at yes. Which one? Well, hold on. Has he not crossed over yet? Does he still roam this earth? Okay, so it's the same question. So yes. Or it could be the same answer. Yes. Confronted by his honest answer, I felt a sharp pain in my heart. The 10-yen coin began to shake as if pushing me to ask the next question. Please tell me one more thing. Has he become a wraith? The coin paused for a moment and then glided over toward the answer. No. Yay! Thank goodness. Perhaps because I was so worried about him, I accidentally let out a loud sigh. But if he hasn't crossed over yet, that means there's still a chance he'll become a wraith. I knew I had to do something. For now, I wanted to meet Sena. Wait, will he still remember me? He only had his memory for 2 days. As I thought about these things, the coin began to shake furiously again. Sorry. There's something else I want to know. Does he still remember me? I was so nervous that my finger shook, but I made every effort to ensure I didn't let go. Then the coin began to move again. Yes. Yay! The moment I saw the results, a wave of relief washed over me. Thank goodness he remembers me. I felt a warm sensation spread through my chest. Either way, if he hasn't crossed over yet, I have to meet him. I have to find some way to help him. But I still didn't know how to meet him. That's right, I can ask how can I meet him. Sorry, I promise this is my last question. Can you tell me how to meet him? I stared intently down at the coin, but for a very long time, the coin remained perfectly still. Does that mean there's no way? I don't care if I can't see him. I just want to talk to him. Just then, the coin began to move. A-S-K-F-R-I-E-N-D. Friend? My friend? Is he talking about Sayaka? As I tilted my head in confusion, the coin began to move again. It probably means Koyo. His friend. Good call. Good call. Is he talking about a friend of Sena's? Then it struck me. Koyo! I'd completely forgotten about Mary Mary. Koyo had the ability to connect the living and the dead. But how do I call him? I don't have his phone number. We never exchanged text. After thanking and saying goodbye to the spirit board, I headed straight to the park. I wanted to find a way to reach Koyo, even though I knew he might not be there. Still, I knew if I kept calling, there's a chance he'd hear me. I walked around the park whispering Koyo's name. Koyo.
ねえ、あの子、さっきからブツブツ言ってて怖くない？
Mind your business.
聞こえるだろ。それにジロジロ見るなって。
Mind your business.
だって。
I must look pretty weird right now. I can't really do this with so many people around. I should have come at night. Fighting my embarrassment, I continued to desperately call out Koyo's name, but my phone remained silent. Then, later that evening, I was completely unable to relax. Even as I watched TV with my sister, my thoughts continued to drift to Koyo's whereabouts. I wonder if he's watching the stars with Sena. Looking at the clock, I saw it was past 8 p.m. Hey, sis. I'm gonna go buy some dessert at the convenience store. Want anything? As I stood up, my sister grinned.
甘いものならもう買ってあるんだな。冷蔵庫にケーキ入ってるぞ。
Oh, why today of all days?
なんだよ、ケーキじゃダメだったか？
No, that sounds great. Thanks. I'd be happy any other day. Trying not to seem suspicious, I reluctantly headed to the fridge.
なあ、今度は何に悩んでんの？
I stopped and turned to my sister. As she stared back at me, I could see her eyes were filled with concern.
進路についてだったら、母さんも理解してきてると思うし、そんなに心配することないよ。喫茶店でのアルバイトについては、私からも母さんに掛け合うからさ。
Sis, it's not about my career path survey. I didn't know what to say. I felt guilty for making her worry about me. There's someone I want to help, but it's not going very well. With that, the worry in my sister's eyes disappeared, and she looked at me with surprise.
あんた、好きな男でもいんのか？
Huh? Why would you think that?
勘かな？
Look at this perceptive sister. Man, she's good.
それで、どうなの？
Well, that...
うわ、その反応。マジかよ。まさか、コンビニって言っておいて、そいつに会いに行こうとしてた？ははーん、なるほどな。道理でケーキに食いつかないわけだ。
She seemed to see right through me despite not having all the facts. If she figured out he was a ghost, now that would have been really surprising.
恋愛ね。応援してやりたいとは思うけど、この時間に誘う男ってどうなの？
It's not like that. I just wanted to check on him on my own. Stalker! I might have said too much.
様子を見に行ってどういうことだよ。てっきり待ち合わせでもしてんのかと思ったけど。
No, I just want to watch him from afar. Well, this guy, he's a bit frail, so I have to go see him. As I awkwardly tried to explain things to her, my sister's expression shifted rapidly.
もしかして病院に入院してるとか？あ、入院中に出会ったのか？
Yes? Yeah, while I was in the hospital. That's true. I guess that's not entirely wrong.
そっか、そんなことがあったのか。でも、この時間だと面会はできないだろう。まさか。 面会できないくらいの重症患者。
Sis?
マジかよ。そんな切ない声をしてんのかよ。前途多難じゃんか。
She's been binging those TV dramas again.
よし、行ってこい。
Are you sure it's okay?
いいに決まってんだろ。あんたの愛を応援するよ。
Thanks. I'll be back in a bit. Maybe about an hour?
ああ、頑張れよ。
I felt a bit guilty, but at least now I was able to get out of the house. Koyo, I hope you're still there. Then, as I headed toward the door,
別れが来てもへこむんじゃないぞ。覚悟だけはしておけよな。
she's really made up her own thing here, but somehow it fits.
あんたの愛はきっと相手に届くよ。でも、相手の思いを尊重することも忘れるなよ。
Respect his wishes. Thanks, sis. Well, I'm off. After saying goodbye to my sister, I headed to the park, her words still echoing in my mind. Respect his wishes.
今なら僕は君を笑って見送れるから。今以上思いが大きくなればきっと僕は君を引き止めてしまう。僕独占欲が強くてさ。だから今がちょうどいいんだ。
What I'm doing right now, it might be going against Sena's wishes. But he also hasn't crossed over yet. Is it wrong for me to try and reach out to him? Koyo, are you there? Even if it was wrong, I'd come too far to back down now. Please, Koyo, please let me talk to Sena. I don't want him to turn into a wraith. I'm just going to keep coming until you connect me with him. Actually, no, I won't leave. Please, please just let me talk to him. Let me know if he's all right. Staring down at my phone, my heart leapt at the glitching display. The ringing of the phone ceased and a familiar voice came from the phone.
バカなのあんた。
Koyo's voice. Wah!
まさかの力技とか。賢いのかバカなのか統一して。
Koyo, is that really you?
そう。久しぶり。
Hisashiburi? His voice was filled with nostalgia, stirring emotions deep within me. Yeah, long time no see. After I spoke, I heard an exasperated voice reply back to me.
この白状者。
Huh?
俺に何の挨拶もなしで元に戻りやがって。
Oh. I'm sorry. It all just happened so fast and...
冗談だよ。本気で謝られても困るから。まあ、何にせよよかった。
Thank you so much for taking such good care of me then. After letting out a small sigh, I turned to the real reason I was calling. Is Sena with you right now? Do you think I could speak to him?
ああ、向こうにいる。今連れてくるから待ってて。
Koyo seemed to have anticipated this question and answered dismissively.
いいから来いって。あっちはセナの顔見えないから。ごめんなさ。
You lied to me. As soon as the words left my lips, I could almost see him wincing back. Even though I couldn't see him, it was clear from the tone of his voice that he genuinely felt bad. You lied to me. You told me not to worry because you would be crossing over.
そんなことないよ。だんだん姿も薄れてきてるから。多分もうじきだと。
Did you know there have been a ton of posts about seeing your spirit on paranormal message boards? If you really are fading away, why are there more and more sightings of you?
それは。
Tell me the truth, Sena. You aren't going to be crossing over anytime soon, are you? If you would have told me, I would have stuck around to help you.
ダメって言ったはずだよ。
Why?
あの時と答えは変わらない。僕のせいで君の人生を潰したくなかったんだ。もう君とは歩む道が違う。だからさようなら。
Wait! Despite my efforts to stop him, the sound of him hanging up the phone echoed in my ears. I had a feeling this might happen. Yet, being rejected by him directly impacted me far more than I thought it would. And his voice was colder than I remembered. Trying not to show the tears welling in my eyes, I crouched down on the spot. I wonder if Sena's still here. No, he's probably gone. Despite trying not to let it bother me, our second parting was far more painful than the first. I kneeled down next to her. She looked devastated. Seeing her back trembling slightly, I began to understand. Is she crying? Are you crying? I found myself overwhelmed by her feelings for me. I wanted to wipe away her tears. I wanted to hold her. But there was nothing I could do.
通話だけでよかったな。
どういう意味？
ひどい顔してるから、とてもあいつには見せられない。
No. Kaleo, what a friend. Maybe he was right.
彼女とはそれなりに綺麗な形でお別れできたかなと思ってたのに、こうしてまた声が聞けるといろいろ決心に揺らぎが出ちゃうね。ねえ、こうよ。今成仏して最速で転生とかしたらもう年齢差20とかになるかもだけど、ねえ、こうよ。今成仏して最速で転生とかしたらもう一度彼女に会えたりするかな。
I pressed through it too fast, so I repeated it.
年齢差20とかになるかもだけど、年下の男は嫌いかななんて。
Totally fine. Totally fine after a certain spot. Totally fine. It's, there was like a joke about like the music artist Cher. She's dating a much younger person, and so like there was a joke that was just kind of like, hey, don't worry if you haven't found your person yet. Maybe they just haven't been born. So but again, of correct age, they still need to be a fully formed adult. Ideally, not ideally, definitely, they need to be a fully formed adult. So, yeah. It helps if they have like, you know, it's nice, like, age difference stuff doesn't matter to me so much aside from like, it's more life difference that, you know, because like 10 years is kind of a, you know, it's like, it's not a big deal when you're like 40 and 50, but 10 years when you're like, you know, I would say like 18 and 28, I feel like that's a pretty big divide personally. Yeah. Yes. Morally and legally. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, I mean, like, it's not the 10 years, it's which 10 years, right? So, and I feel like people, like, I don't know, like, who I was at 18 is very different than, you know, like, feels very different from who I am now, right? So, it's just kind of like, man, I don't know, it's crazy. It's crazy to think.
バカなこと言ってないで普通に成仏しろ。
If I could, I would have done so long ago. Even after facing my own death, my lingering regrets were far too great to let me cross over. Besides, it looks like I've added one more thing to regret. To me, it's more like, when did they first meet? Because people be prey. Yeah, yeah. I think that, like, it's funny. Like, some of the K-pop bands that I really like, I got into them kind of late, and I'm actually kind of glad, because it's like, because I look back at like some pictures sometimes, and it's like, oh my gosh, that is like they were a child when they started this, and I was like, that's weird to think about, you know, like, yeah, I think you're right, Green Yoshi. It's like, and it's not this like magical like cutoff date that it's like you were immature yesterday and you're mature today, you know. And so it's like, and like I said, that's why it's more about like, it's nice having the same life experience, you know, being generally in the same, you know, realm. It doesn't have to be like, you know, one for one, but you know, somebody who is independent or has been independent for a while versus like, you know, it's like you have not had to figure out anything because you've been a kid up to this point. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Just a grown-up that knows how to pay bills and knows how to, you know, figure out their life, knows how to get things done, knows, you know, isn't like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just gonna call a grown-up. It's like, no. You have to be the grown-up. So, yeah. I feel like that would just be such a power, like, it's a bad power dynamic, too. Yeah.
僕はさ、割り切ったつもりだったんだ。アイドルのセナは死んだ。もうみんなに声を届けることはできない。でも、どうしてかな。今は消えるのが前より怖い。どうして僕はあの子と同じ時を生きられなかったのかな。
It would be easier just to forget again. But I also didn't want to forget. Unable to sort these conflicting feelings, I stayed close to Lolli, looked up at the stars above, and closed my eyes. Oh. Perhaps it was due to the lack of sleep or from crying so much. All right, good job, Sarybot. Very nice. But I woke up the next morning with a feeling of heavy burden and despair. Yeah. Thank you, Great Yoshi, for the recommendation on Sarybot. I went to school as I normally did, but I didn't listen to a single word. I was so distracted. I told Sayaka about what happened during lunch, and seeing my state, her face grew somber too. I spent the entire day in a kind of daze. As I left the classroom and headed for home, I noticed the mirror at the landing of the staircase. This was the last place we went on the day of our date. Little did I know it would be the first and last of our dates. Memories flooding back, I approached the mirror. My reflection looked terrible. Though technically alive, my face was lifeless, like that of a ghost. No offense, ghosts. I should have believed what Hibiki said to me that day. But even if I did believe him, would that have changed anything? I gently touched the mirror. Sena. My name's Hibiki. I can't stop worrying about you. I'm worried you'll turn into a wraith. Suddenly, I felt an icy coldness creep up my hand as I touched the mirror. I should head home. Not wanting to head straight home, I wandered the streets, hoping the change of scenery would improve my mood. Sometimes I'd jump in front of cars to see if they'd send me back to my boyfriend. But wherever I went, memories of Sena flooded my mind, leading only to heavier and heavier sobs escaping my lips. Sena has Koyo with him. He'll be fine, even without me. So, right now, I can only pray. approached the offering box. I threw in a coin and rang the bell. Before praying, I clapped my hands. Oh God, who spirited me away? Just like you saved me, please save Sena. As I prayed from the bottom of my heart.
疲れておりますぞ。
Turning to face the voice, I saw the priest who was at the scene of my accident. What did you just say?
疲れておりますぞ。わしの見立てでは、お嬢さんには霊らしきものが。
A spirit? Where? I shook him. What kind of spirit is it?
え
Yeah. Spooky ghost. I mean, what kind of spirit? Is it a handsome-looking young man?
ちょっと落ち着きなさい。
Sorry. After taking a few deep breaths to calm myself, I began talking to the priest again. About this spirit.
それがですな。ついているのは感じられても、おぼろげでよく見えないのですよ。だが、悪いものではない。お嬢さんを守っているような温かい光を感じるからの。
A warm light? I couldn't help but think of Sena. Does that mean he's worried about me too?
その霊が気になるのですか？
I nodded slightly, then mumbled softly. He's very important to me. I want to help him. He's stuck wandering this earth. Our worlds may be separated, but there must be something I can do to help him. The priest patted my shoulder and smiled warmly.
少し待っていなさい。
For the price of $9.99, you can buy this mega charm. A few minutes later, the priest returned, cradling something gently in his hands. It looked like a curved stone. It emitted light similar to a shining star. What is that?
その質問に答える前に、この神社が何の神を祀っているかご存知ですかな？
I don't. I'm sorry. But my mother always said it had something to do with love and doing well in business.
さよう。ここで祀られているのは、大国主の神の分け御霊。
Okuninushi.
人と人の縁を結ぶことに長けた神がおられるのです。
That means.
この勾玉はそんな当社に昔から伝わる曰く付きの神具。力が強すぎて悪いものをも引きつけるやもしれんが、必要なら持っていきなされ。
Really? Is that okay? I hesitantly blinked at the magatama before graciously accepting it.
迷えるものを導くのが神職の務め。というわけで持っていきなされ。
Thank you so much. Then I bowed deeply to the priest while holding tightly to the magatama. I left the shrine. Okay, magatama, a ritual article used from ancient times, borrowed from Tsukumo Shrine's priest. Supposedly, it stores special powers, so it could potentially attract really evil spirits. Ooh. He's living dangerously, man. With the sacred stone in hand, I headed for Beachfront Park. If Sena still existed in this world, I couldn't think of any other place he'd be. I exhaled deeply as I approached the park and took a quick look around. He must be around here somewhere. I firmly gripped the magatama, and just as I was about to call out to him, I heard the loud bark of a dog.
あれ？
Ah, Sayaka. There was Sayaka walking with her beloved dog, Tonodomaru. That's right, this is her and Tonodomaru's typical route.
制服姿ってことは、まだ家に帰ってなかったんだ。
Yeah, I had an errand to run here.
それって、ひょっとして、セナさんが関係している？
No, not Mochi. We'll probably hear her later, though. Yeah. I'm sure she knew what I was doing the moment she saw me standing alone in the park. Yeah, Mochi always wants her treats. She's been getting a lot of blueberries. She's pretty happy with that.
昼間学校で聞いた話ではセナさんが悪霊化する可能性があるからだから助けてあげたいんだよね。
Yes. No matter how much he refuses, I want to do whatever I can to help. Before he becomes a wraith, I want to help him cross over.
悪霊化は怖いものなんだろうしあなたの気持ちはわかるよ。でもセナさんはどうなんだろう。
Surrounded by a pirate. You're learning how to kill people with sticks? All right. No, I don't have any I don't have any boyfriendos that are not 2D. And definitely not anybody that I would want sticked to death. Let's see, what did you miss? Let's see, we are back to the world of the living. But we were like, our boyfriendos said, oh, once you leave, I'll cross over. But we were starting to see like evidence that he hadn't yet. So we got it, we called the friend. Or, well, we got the friend to call us, the one with the cell phone. We're just like, hey, man, I know you're here. Can you call me? If you don't call me, I'll never leave. And so he called. He's like, what's up? So, yeah, we got a little confirmation from the spirit board that our boyfriendo had not crossed over. He's not a wraith, but we did get to talk to him on the phone. And he's just like, you know, he's trying to be kind of cold with us, make us sad. So that it's like, you know, forget about me. That kind of thing. So, still no kiss. Exactly. Rude. What do you mean?
セナさんに成仏する意志はあるのかなって。
二人は自分のこと考えて。セナは成仏するように。あんたは体に戻るように。いい。
Okay.
セナ、返事は？
あ、うん。わかったよ。
When we talked about crossing over before, Sena's face clouded over. Could it be that Sena... Maybe he doesn't want to cross over. In that case, I had made a terrible mistake.
そうだったとしてどうして成仏したくないんだろう。
It must be. Thanks to the time I'd spent with Sena, I knew the answer right away. Sena always wanted to live as an idol. Perhaps... could it be? Seeing that Sena's an urban legend now, even now, he's waiting for fans to come to the park. Sayaka looked surprised, but she didn't say anything. Seeing that I had told her everything about Sena up to now, she seemed to accept it. Maybe that wouldn't be so bad for now. I mean, there are fans coming to see him. But what if they leave? I frowned uneasily. What should I do? Let's talk to him directly. I have to do something to help Sena. He might view it as a nuisance, but I can't let him be an evil spirit. If the rumors of him being an urban legend ever did die down, he'd be left here all alone. It was possible that Koya would still be there as well, but who could say for sure?
私にもできることがあったら言ってね。協力するから。
Right. Thank you. I know I can count on you. Besides, you're already helping me. In truth, Sayaka had already helped me by listening and giving me great advice. Then, Tonomodomaru, who had been curled up at my feet, twitched his ears and stood up. He then peered out towards the horizon and began barking.
はいはい。散歩中断しちゃってごめんね。そろそろ帰ろう。もうだいぶ時間も遅いし。
She was right. It was fairly late. I don't want to worry my mom. I'll come back here tomorrow. Yeah, let's go. The two of us began to head home, but Tonodomaru refused to follow Sayaka's lead and instead kept barking at the same spot.
どうしたのトノダマル。
This is like what happened before. That's right, it was right here.
もうトノダマルったら、はあ、前もここでこんなことがあったんだよね。
I know, look at these borky dogs. She huffed as she spoke. Why is it that people who are alive don't seem to notice us?
そんなの無理に決まってんじゃん。霊力ある人間なら別だけど、普通の人間にはまず無理。人間には無理でも、犬とか猫なら反応する時もある。赤ん坊もだっけか。どうだったかな。
Wait, I think I understand.
まさか。
I nodded and Sayaka merely blinked at me. When I was a living ghost and I wanted Sayaka to notice me, I tried calling Tonodomaru over. The exact same thing was happening now. I stepped in front of Tonodomaru with trembling legs and nervously called out to him. Sena? Are you there? The night wind tousled my hair. As I waited for an answer, a surprised Sayaka shouted out to me.
どう何か聞こえた？
No, nothing.
そっか。でも、聞こえないだけで。
Sayaka tried to say something else, but she was interrupted by Tonodomaru pulling the leash away from her.
あ、
Sayaka began getting pulled toward the entrance of the park.
早く先に行っちゃうよ。
Yeah, I'll be right there. Get some privacy. I went to chase after Sayaka, but something caused me to turn around. There must have been something here which caused Tonodomaru to react like that. And I knew it was Sena. It was the words of the priest at the Tsukumo shrine that caused me to be so certain. A warm spirit watching over me. That must be Sena. I couldn't see him, but he was there, so I'll come back again. Not gonna ask. I'm doing it. Sena, I'll come back again. No matter how many times you reject me, I won't give up. Because I want you to be happy. I didn't want to say to him that I didn't want him to become a wraith. I thought that was a better way to say it. Still holding the magatama in my hand, I clenched it with determination. I want to see you. I want to see your face. It would make me so relieved if... A strong gust of wind swept through, carrying my whisper with it. The magatama I was holding grew hot and started to tremble.
まったく。
Huh? Oh, we got our kiss! There he was, standing right before me. Oh, we got it! Surprise kiss! Woo! Keith, a Keith. Close enough to touch, yet untouchable. I felt no sensation as our lips pressed together. Oh, that's too bad. Wait. We're being kissed, but we get no sensation? I'm just licking the air. Scam, exactly. Scam! But my heart raced all the same. Wrapped up in the sensation of his undeniable presence.
君はつくづく僕を困らせてくれるね。でも困ったことに嬉しさを覚える僕がいるんだ。
Imagine this in the point of view of her friend Sayaka, who's just like waiting, like just pretend he's not there, and I'm just like kiss in the air. As I opened my mouth to speak, Sena smiled wistfully at me.
やっぱりどうしたって好きなんだよね。君のこと。
As soon as the wind died down, Sena faded away. It was as though he had never even been there in the first place. I gently touched my lips. Then, opening the hand I had clenched, I gazed down at the magatama. It had turned a discolored black as though it had lost its power. The power of the magatama. It allowed me to meet Sena. And now I have dark powers! Now I've got necromancy. I'll raise him from the dead. I put the magatama back in my bag and returned to where I'd seen him moments before. I love you too, which is why I can't leave things like this. Our confessions just missed one another. Yet I was sure my words reached him. At least something is there when you kiss your pillow. This is just sad. Yeah! Then, with a smile on my face, I ran towards the entrance of the park. Sayaka was like, "What were you doing?" Woo, that's how we're ending? Okay. Look, we got a kiss. We got a scam kiss, okay? Nice try, game, but we're holding out for something more. What the heck? All right. Well, I mean, at least it's something. At least it's something. All right. Well, thank y'all so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. I hope y'all have a good rest of your week. My next stream is tomorrow on Iriam. I'm going to do Study Buddies lunch, and then I'm going to be off for a bit. So I won't be back until Sunday. So, I mean, I'll be back on Saturday, but I will not be streaming till Sunday. Yeah. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Appreciate it. Like I said, I hope you have a really good night. Okay. Yes. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We'll talk again. And yeah, I'll have to mull over this. Hopefully we get a new kiss next week. A real kiss next week, but we'll see. We'll see. Alrighty. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Night-night.